In this step, we are about to learn a very interesting and essential feature of modern digital camera lens. A feature to end issues related to the trembling of your hand while shooting for a long time, the image stabilization of the lens. In an analog camera, it used to be really tough to manage the camera lens vibration while shooting, because in analog cameras, the camera or lens vibration reduction mechanism was absent. So we had to minimize this vibration either through steady hands or using a really fast shutter speed. But in photography, there are some situations where you can't go beyond a higher shutter speed. The shutter speed of the camera has one another responsibility, so we can't use it always as a vibration reduction mechanism. There are situations where you have to apply a slower shutter speed. So with a slower shutter speed, you need to keep your camera and lens very steady to get a nicely frozen and sharp image. But holding a camera super steady is not possible always for several challenges. For example, your hands can produce a significant shaking if you continue shooting for a longer period, as the DSLR camera and the basic lens even combinedly create a continuous pressure of more than 1.2 kgs, which is enough to cause a strain to your hands. And this could be worst with telephoto lenses. So let's understand how the IS or image stabilization works and how much it could be helpful, as it's always better to choose a faulty gadget knowing the shortfalls instead of choosing stable equipment without knowing. As I have seen, when you have an understanding of the equipment and its shortfalls properly, you know how to overcome the shortfalls. You also have an idea how much you should depend on the artificial intelligence of the camera or the lens artificial intelligence. So let's understand how the lens auto features work in the lens. Here you can see the lens stabilization unit. Whenever the light passes through the stabilization unit of the lens, the stabilization unit of the lens actually calculates the actual and potential vibration. The lens uses two gyroscope sensors to measure the abnormalities, and then it sends the information to the microprocessor positioned in the lens to encounter lens vibration. Then the lens manages the abnormalities like this. The sensor sends instruction to the lens's vibration reduction unit. The vibration reduction unit actually helps the lens elements to move in the perpendicular direction to encounter all the camera and lens vibration up to a significant level. If you are shooting something sitting on a fast moving vehicle, don't forget to turn on the stabilization system of the lens, as modern artificial lens stabilization systems can even stabilize the camera and lens shake from 0.5 Hz up to 20 Hz even. One more thing that we must know about the lens vibration reduction unit: the stabilization unit consumes a significant battery of the camera, so you must understand when you should actually turn off this feature of your lens to get a sound battery backup. The requirement of image stabilization or vibration reduction becomes more significant when you shoot with a longer telephoto lens. You may have noticed the conventional 50mm f1.8 lens comes without vibration reduction, as the 50mm lens doesn't provide a huge magnification, so the vibration can be managed with the stability of your hands only, even if you use a slow shutter speed. Now the last thing we are going to learn about the lens shaking reduction mechanism, which you can also use to enhance your photography. You probably have seen that many camera lenses come with a 2-stop shake reduction mechanism, while some lenses come with 4-stop or even further. So what do these stops means, and how to understand the actual efficiency of these stops? The vibration reduction mechanism of the lens actually aids the camera shutter speed. Suppose you are taking a picture with a shutter speed of 1/1000, then in proper daylight you won't be able to find any vibration in the photograph because the shutter speed of 1/1000 is significantly fast. But whenever you need to use a slower shutter speed, you would notice that a tiny movement of your hand might cause blurriness in the image. Now, to solve this problem, the camera lens manufacturing companies manufacture lenses of different capacities, and they disclose the efficiency of their anti-vibration mechanism using these stops only. A two-stop stabilization means if your hands can capture sharp images with 1/250 shutter speed, then with the IS or VR function, you can capture images of the same sharpness using a two-stop slow shutter speed. With a 4-stop image stabilization, you can use that lens to capture images of the same sharpness even with a shutter speed of 1/30, which is impossible with a regular lens or even with a 2-stop image stabilization. So I hope now you have understood how helpful the anti-vibration unit of the lens is. One more thing you should know about the shutter speed to understand the actual efficiency of the lens stabilization mechanism. Did you know the ideal shutter speed for a sharp image without using lens stabilization? The ideal shutter speed actually depends upon the effective focal length of the lens. The shutter speed should be at least an equivalent number of the lens's effective focal length. This is a formula, just remember it. The ideal shutter speed is equals to operating focal length of the lens. For example, if you are using a 50 mm lens, then you have to use at least 1/60 shutter speed to get a nicely frozen image. With a 500 mm lens, the ideal shutter speed has to be 1/500 minimum. Now, after turning on the lens stabilization, you can slow down the shutter speed depending upon the efficiency of the anti-vibration system of the lens. In the masterclass, we have provided the advanced formula that you were to use the shutter speed like a professional without losing additional battery power. Now, when it's a matter of choosing the right lens, then you must know that the image stabilization system of different lenses has different names. Although the lens image stabilization technologies of different lens companies work pretty much the same, still some of the companies provide stabilization far better than the others. In the process section, we will get a simple way to understand the performance of image stabilization of these lenses. The modern day camera also offer in-body image stabilization mechanism, which helps to get better results in different photography scenarios.